Our next guest, Norm and I go back a long way. We started around the same time up in Canada, and obviously he's doing way better. But, you know, I remember one of the first times I ever saw him on stage, like he was brilliant right from the very, very beginning. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Norm Macdonald. What Norm does is he goes to the bathroom right before I go out. So it's me again. It's like sex is over and you're still here, you know?
Steve was right. Sometimes right before a show, I go, God damn it, my cock is full of piss. And I go, I don't want to go out for an hour, you know, cock full of piss. So God damn, just in Portland to Oregon, these motherfuckers, they're so, what do you call people that fucking think they're better than everybody else? Whatever. We don't need to know all the words, but you know. So I get in the car, the guy drives in the club, right? He goes, we ain't got no racism in Portland. And then I'm driving, and everybody's white, like everywhere I live. So I figured I go, you know, it's pretty easy, I guess, to be not racist when there's no black people at all in your city. And then the guy goes, we got our share. The fuck? God. Why are all racists fucking cowboy? What the fuck am I talking about? I'm talking a little fast, so I gotta calm down. There's been about 50 of these fuckers. I was gonna say, why are all cabbies racist? It's crazy. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, but you know, like I used to live fucking way in the suburbs and I have to take a cab with like 15 miles of like nothingness so you got to my place. So I get in the cab. Every time the cabbie would be racist. And then I don't know what am I going to fucking argue with the guy? Like somehow I'm on crossfire or some fucking thing. So I suppose I should, you know. Because that's what emboldens him. That's why he'll continue to say racist things, because everybody gets in his cab and goes, yeah, over there. You know? So I picked a cowardly way of doing it, but that's what I do. Because I want to get home. So I end up saying some awful things. I never say about... I don't say awful things. I just, I'll say, yeah, he had the right idea. No question about that. I came here left from Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't even know Las Vegas, Nevada. This place, it's irrational. You know what I mean? It's such an irrational place. That's what's odd about it. And so I was on that elevator, and I'm going to slow down a little later. Everybody probably thinks I'm on coke, because I am on cocaine. So I don't blame you, you know, for thinking I'm on coke. Man, it's one of those things. Now, I don't know if you've ever caught a whole, like you just hear a snippet of a conversation and it gives you a whole, you know what's happened, what's going, you know what I mean? A great deal goes on, but just hearing a little tiny snippet. So I was on this, I'll give you an example. Like one time, I was walking past two homeless guys. One homeless guy says to the other homeless guy, he goes, when the fuck did you ever play goalie for the Montreal Canadiens? And I said, no. He'd had enough of this horse shit. You know, he wasn't going to stand for it. You ever have guys that just lie? Like, you know, ever know guys that are just fucking, what do you call them? Congenital, well, not congenital. They can't help themselves. They're pathological liars. And everybody's met one of them. You know, they say things so fucking outrageous. And then you're embarrassed. They should be embarrassed. You're embarrassed, you know, because you have to go, you have to agree with them. And so one time I was washing dishes. I had a job washing dishes at the old spaghetti factory, which was fun. It's a great restaurant if you like old spaghetti. Especially from a factory. You know, I like from a factory. Oh my God. So I'm washing dishes. The guy next to me is washing dishes, and I say to him, "Hey," this is in Etobicoke, and I said in Canada. So I said, "Hey, Bruce Springsteen came to Toronto on the weekend," and this guy goes, "Yeah, I partied with him," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he goes, "You can ask my brother." That's his fucking thing, you know. Like now with the phone, his family member, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I'm just a guy washing dishes. I'm like, yeah, hey, listen, man, is this Tony's brother? Hey, man, I wash dishes with him. He washes dishes, and I wash dishes beside him. And I just wanted to confirm some outlandish fucking horse shit. And he told me that you're the guy. Anyways, none of this has anything to do with anything. Not that anything ever will, but what is that fucking type of... Oh yeah, it's like a snippet of conversation, right? So I'm in the elevator in the casino in Las Vegas. I'm going down to the floor. Now, in Las Vegas, people go to Las Vegas all the time, and they go there with systems. You know, they're going to break the bank. They're going to beat the casino, you know? And sometimes these systems actually don't work at all. I believe that I, just by a snippet of conversation, was witnessing the unravel of a system, because there was a guy and what I presumed was his wife, and they were standing there, and the guy turns to what I presume was his wife, and he says to her, he says, "I don't give a fuck what I said, give me the money," like that. I said, what is this? He had a system that wasn't working out, and he was calling an audible. He was going to change the system to taking all the rest of the money and betting it on red, and then winning that, and then returning to the system. I bet on red. This again shows the rationality of gambling. I went to the floor, you know, the pits they got, and I walked by the roulette table. I put $200 on black, and it rolled, and the silver number landed on red, and then I said, "Fuck, I almost picked that." Everyone understood. They're like, you can't overthink it. You know anything about the game of roulette? You go first instinct. Anybody says that they're lucky in casinos. What the fuck? Come on, who the fuck's lucky? What about when it's lucky and they're like, I'm really lucky, and then they're really stupid girls with big tits. You're like, oh, you're lucky? I wonder how that happened. You say you won, at the end of the week, you come out loud, That one's a fucking puzzler. Hey, what about this? Their crazy slogan. You know, every city has a slogan. So their slogan is, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And other places, you know, will have like you know, if it's Atlanta, Georgia, their city slogan is like, hey, you like peaches? We have nice baskets of peaches, and you're happy, you know? Virginia's for lovers, you know, things like that. But Vegas, it's like, hey, listen. And it's not actually real. It's not like you can kill someone in Vegas and hit the road, you know. They'll find you, they'll bring you back, they'll arrest you, they'll fingerprint you, they'll cuff you, you know. They'll put you in front of a jury of your peers. So it's really, what's the real me? What do you really know? You know? I said, what does that really mean, you know? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I thought about it for a long time. I pondered, I ruminated, you know? And finally I come up with this. This is what it really means. You can go to Las Vegas, have sex with a prostitute, and she won't tell your wife back home where you live. They're very discreet, the Las Vegas prostitutes. Not like those small town blabbermouth whores back in the Midwest, you know, those fucking gossipy. Down the beauty parlor with that pale blue thing over their head and shit. You know, you're Angus McGregor's wife. Oh my God, small world. You took a shit on me last night in exchange for cash. Small world indeed. Hey. It's funny people say small world, but you almost never say it because it's almost never applicable because it's not true. You know what I mean? Like you meet a guy, you're in Paris or some fucking thing, you go, hey, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. The guy goes, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, small world, but it doesn't have an M, you know? It's usually like, hey, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. What about you? I'm from here, France. Wow, this is a fucking big world, man. This is a giant globe we live on. Large, big, very large. People hardly ever come in contact with each other as it happens. And I took an airplane here. It was scary because there was turbulence, you know, and I don't know if you like turbulence. Who the fuck likes turbulence? What kind of question is that? Am I retarded? I gotta get myself together. Nobody likes turbulence on planes, of course. I get afraid, I get scared, you know what I mean? I get scared. I try to do the best I can. Like, here's the thing. I haven't listened for a long time, so I heard a new one that I hadn't heard. This one where the oxygen mask falls down. They go, if your oxygen mask falls down, make sure you put it on yourself first, and then put it on your little child. And I was like, that was my fucking plan the whole time. Blab it to everybody. And but here's the great thing on a plane. What I always do, I sit in the exit row, and it's fantastic because you get like a lot of extra leg room, and all you have to do to sit in the exit row is to lie. Seems like you're getting a bargain, you know. The stewardess comes, or the flight attendant, lady, you know, we don't call them. We used to call, whatever. I can't keep up, but we used to call the ladies on the airplane stewardesses. If they were flight attendants, if they were a lady, they were stewardess, and if they were a man, well, you know, yeah. So it was a bad time, you know. Hateful time. How was everybody so hateful back in the day? Like my dad was old when he had me. I was 50. Fought in a motherfucking war, right? So to me, that gives him a pass. Whatever the fuck he wants to think. He can think anything he wants. Guy was in the fucking war. I got like an 18-year-old kid telling me. I'm like, yeah, my dad, man, he was this fucking guy was. You know. And so anyways, he's like, yeah, it sounds like a bad. I go, no. You know, he was fucking, if he was old, he'd be 1,000. He's, you know, he was 50 when he had me. Old man. World War II. This guy's 18. What the fuck am I going to learn from an 18-year-old? You know what I'm saying? 12 years ago, the motherfucker was 6. Suddenly, he got opinions? Everybody got opinions. I don't know what happened. But Anyway, so yeah, I'm on the airplane, and that's what. So you sit. This is what happens. You sit in the exit row, and then the steward, the flight attendants, they come up and they say, "Listen, in case of a explosion and everything, and the white and black smoke racing down the fuselage to grab your neck and choke you. Would you mind just like after you, please?" And then you go, "Yes, yeah, I'll do that." And they have to hear it verbally now. They can't just fucking nod your head. It's not binding enough, you have to say yes. So then later after the crash, in the but anyway, as I said, I go, yes. Of course, in real life, I'd get out before my mother, I go, "Yeah, back you all apart. You've left a full life. I still got shit. I used to be on the TV. I'm fucking one. What the fuck?" But listen, I don't know about that. They just tell you all this shit so that you'll be a little calmer on the airplane. Because if the airplane does go down, that fucking stuff, the seat cover, or what is it, the cushion works as the float. You ever hear, "Hey, today a fucking plane crashed in the Pacific," but everybody's cool, they're floating around. Luckily, they listen to the lady or the man, and people are listening. Also, if you crash at that velocity, you're like dematerialized. You know what I'm saying? You're like it just reduced to your essence, your stuff. Basically, I would say at that point you're a bunch of stuff. They find an airplane full of stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of airplane wreckage, but you can look at it and never see a body. There's a suitcase here and there, and they show the whole picture. No, I don't see one fucking person. It's because you're stuff. Ashes to ashes, stuff to stuff. And, sorry for quoting the scriptures, I hate to do that. But you crash. Now, then they call it remains. The big fancy word for it, but you and I know it's stuff. And they do this because victims of the relatives of the victims want the remains. I don't know why, but it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Brings them closure. You know what I mean? They're at home. They're like, "God damn, I can't get to sleep without thinking of my poor son in his final moments. If only I could see his remains. And then I'd sleep well. There's a chance they bring me a bag of his remains." The fuck? And it's not like you're gonna get the real remain. Like it's not. They don't go on the plane and go, look at that lock of strawberry blonde hair. That looks a little bit like Agnes over. Didn't somebody see her thigh bone splinter earlier? Why don't we? There's no reconstruction going on. All they do, maybe they find your ID. Go, look at this, Norm Macdonald. It said here he weighed 190 pounds. All right, shovel 190 pounds of stuff into the bag. Now, write Norm on the side of that bag. Send it to Norm's mother. She'll be happy. She'll be thrilled. And then my mother gets it. Excellent. Look at that. It's a Norm, all right. Hey, I don't remember him having 3 eyeballs. I guess none of us really knew him, really. Who can know another man at all? this fucking. You can do some things to try to avoid things. Like, for instance, like try to avoid flying over the Andes, whatever you do, the fucking Andes. Because then, for some reason, you survive. So that you can grapple with cannibalism, you know? It's a nice little fucking trick they do, you know? And so then you're up on the goddamn, and now I'm against cannibalism, but anything, if you know anything about me personally, you'll know, you know, check out my fucking web and all that shit. I am against cannibalism. I talk about it everywhere. Not here, I'm not going to use a bully pulpit, and I refuse to use this. And also, I'd get people when they're young. Like you guys, you've already have your beliefs on cannibalism. I'm not going to change your minds. I get the young people to high school. I go to high schools. I go to high schools across this great continent, except for Mexico. I don't want to go to Mexico. But Canada and the United States. So across this great continent, except for Mexico, I don't want to go there. I go and I speak to the youngsters, you know, about cannibalism. And mostly I let them know, I go, you know, it's not cool, you know, if you're a cannibal. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. For a while, you're going to be looking, you know, you ate a fucking guy in the algebra class, you know. People will be talking about you, but in the long run, yeah, it's a blemish on the old CV. But, you see, sometimes I think, oh, I'm on my high horse. Oh, I'm against cannibalism. Oh, look at me, I'm better than anybody else. But that's because it's never been put to test, you know? That's why I avoid the Andes, because I don't want to be put to the test of my beliefs, you know what I mean? Because beliefs are shaky, as the scriptures say. You know, now, let's suppose I live in a world, in this, the greatest possible country, in the greatest of all possible worlds, and there's always cheese sandwiches around. So I don't have to eat a fucking person. Now, the Andes, they don't have cheese sandwiches, they don't have vending machines, I don't know. If you want to make a fucking fortune, you just go to the Andes and put up a fucking vending machine. But they don't have any, so I try to stay away from them, and then so people crash, and then they have to grapple with this moral issue, whether they're going to consume a fellow human being, you know, consume a fellow man, and of course at the end, they always break and do it. And they always wait too late, too long, and then they're just mad with hunger, so they just rip into the co-pilot, fucking eating them, you know? That's no way to eat. That's what I've heard. You're not supposed to gorge. That's what. I'm not a nutritionist, but someone told me grazing is the way to eat. Small, like you're supposed to have, like for breakfast, a small portion of co-pilot. And then at lunch. But that's why you should know what you believe, so you don't have to make up your moral compass. You don't have to set your moral compass under these situations. You should know before you even get on a plane. Like I know, like if I'm on an airplane and there's any turbulence at all, immediately I'll go, I'm meeting that fucker at 4F. Big fat guy in first class. I seen him when I walked by. That guy looked delicious. And then I would find that guy, fucking drag him behind a snowbank. And everybody else would be like, oh, getting hungry. I'm like, yeah. Me too, in a way. Rap. Well, D.C., you know what D.C. stands for, right? District of Columbia. And I'm telling you something, man. This is a fucking great district. It's my favorite one. In all of these United States, this district, now you guys all know why this is a district, and later maybe somebody will tell me. But I don't know. I was thinking of finding out today, like when I was here, I was like, I should look up on the computer why it's actually called district. But instead, I listened to Alex Jones for 9 hours. That guy's a fucking charmer. Listen to Alex Jones, a fucking madman. It's like 37 billion views. I'm like, ah? What? But anyways, big election coming up, you know? The presidential election for the President of the United States, who lives here. And, you know, President Trump, I want to say William? Donald Trump. And this guy, what an operator this guy is. I mean, I don't like to get too political on my shows or anything, but this guy's a real operator. I don't know, but the funny thing is, you know, now all these books are coming out about why he won, you know what I mean? Because it kind of surprised everybody, and now it's like Trump Nation, why did they, what on, I saw one book, evident, there's one called Evident, like that. That's I had I'm a simple man, but I had a little epiphany one night. I was like, I don't know if this had anything to do with it or anything. But think about this. Yes, Donald Trump won, but he was the only guy running. I don't think enough As we know, a lady ran against him for the first time in American history, and what a great fucking timing that was for that little experiment. Didn't work out at all. She actually wrote a book, and you know they say don't judge a book by its cover. Hillary's book, not only can you judge it by its cover, you have to read it. Like the cover itself says everything. This is the cover. I walked by, I swear to God, I looked in the window of the bookstore and I saw it, and this is what the cover said. It said, "What happened? Hillary Rodham Clinton." She was so self-aware. Because that's what it was. I don't care what anybody says. People said, we hate Hillary so much. There's such burning, raw, red hatred. We hate her so much. You know what? We're going to vote for somebody we hate more than her. Just to rub it in. There's some fucking guys. Funny hair. Don King. Is that what I fucking picked up? Don King. Don King and Donald Trump remind me of the same guy. Oh, by the way, I do an impression of Don King. Would you like to hear my impression of Don King? All right, here it is. This is Don King, you know, Don King, if he lived in Japan. So instead of living in America, he lives in Japan. Okay, so here it is. Only in Japan, y'all. Only in Japan. Oh, Japan is so good. Only in Japan. Only in Japan. He's a motherfucking guy. This guy, I met this fucker. This guy is so charming. All he has to say is your name, and it's like a compliment. You know what I mean? Like I met him, he's like, Norm Macdonald, y'all. And you feel good. Oh, yeah, that's my name. And, but he was not charming when I first. This is what happened. I'll tell you this quick story. So I'm doing David Letterman, right? So this is my fucking comedic idea. I say, it was for one of my shows. I think it was the new Norm Macdonald show. And so I was doing it. And so I said, oh, here's an idea. I'll go and I said to David Letterman, I said, here's my idea. I'll go and I'll pretend that I don't want to promote the show because it's kind of embarrassing. I'll say, you know, my manager's always telling me to promote, but, you know, why doesn't he promote? And here he is, and then the manager's Don King. That was the joke. So Don King says he'll do it because he'll do anything. So I show up. I thought this guy was the most charming guy in the world, and then I met him in this little room, and I don't know if you've ever sensed evil, but goddamn, and he was no like, oh, none of that. He was like, crossed his hands, he had all his jewelry and shit, and didn't look at me. And then there were all these Nation of Islam guys. Nothing to make you feel more comfortable than 9 Nation of Islam guys standing there. So they were all standing behind him, and then he goes, yeah. And I go, oh, ha, ha. And I'm thinking, just abandon this. And I go, here's the thing. I was thinking, you know, I'd say I'd pretend I'm modest and shit, and then you come out and you go, hey, it's good, you know. And he's like, hey. He's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Norm Macdonald. He's like, oh. So he writes it down. And then he says, all right. I said, hey, I thought of an idea because I'm going up against the show. There was a show at the time called 60 Minutes 2. It was 60 Minutes was on Sunday, and then 60 Minutes 2 was on Tuesday. So I say to Don King, I go, hey, I think it'd be funny if I said, Don, you're saying how good I am, but remember, I got tough competition. What about 60 Minutes 2? And then he says, what's 60 minutes? And I'm like, oh. So I just want to get the fuck out. And I go, it's just a program, you know. And so he turns to one of the Nation of Islam guys. This is before computers, because I find out about them. So I'm like, well, you don't have to, you know, we can just abandon the whole idea, you know. He's like, no, we'll do it. So I'm with Letterman, I'm fucking so scared, you know, I'm petrified, because he doesn't know me, he doesn't know the idea, nothing, you know? And also he had just fixed a fight, so Letterman was angry at him. So Letterman didn't want to have him on. Now Letterman hates me, but I'm afraid not to have him on because I'm afraid he'll murder me or have me murdered. And so he goes, so anyways, I go, hey Dave, we do our little fucking shit. And I go, I think my manager, since he's always the one that's telling me how I should promote things, and he gets 10% of my money, why doesn't he promote me? And here he is, my manager, Don King. And so Don King comes out with his 2 little American flags. The place goes fucking crazy. Like nuts. And then he does that stuff where he just says, only America, only Norm Macdonald and David Letterman, y'all. David Letterman and Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald from Canada, David Letterman, America. And he takes a Canadian and only in America, David Letterman. And everybody's fucking going cheering, going nuts. So I'm scared, you know. And I go, and he goes, now you know that Norm Macdonald show going to be the best show ever? Norm Macdonald show is going to be the best show that ever was. Ever going to be the best show ever will be. And I go, well, that's nice of you to say. You know, playing my part, I says, nice to say, Don, but remember we have competition, you know, like we have 60 Minutes 2. And he goes, 60 Minutes 2? He goes, let me ask you a question now, 60 Minutes 2. Does that have Mike Wallace? I go, no. It doesn't. He goes, does it have Lester Stahl? I go, no, doesn't have much stuff. Yeah, let me ask you this, does 60 Minutes 2 have Andy Rooney? I don't know, Don, it doesn't have Andy Rooney. He goes, 60 Minutes 2? I'd call it 60 Minutes Who? Only in America. The Norm Macdonald. So out of evil. You know, because God can only work, you know, with evil. You know what I mean? And you can only make bad from evil because you only have evil to begin with, right? Everybody knows that. But, you know, I never told a story before on stage about something that happened in my show career because it's so fucking lame. Like I see other comics, I go, but then you guys fucking made me somehow. No, I'm just yapping. But, I was going to talk about the upcoming election. Hey, what about this upcoming election, though? It's going to be a serious thing. Seriously, you know? There's going to be a lot of people that want to be president, you know? And they're going to be trying to get us to vote for them to be the president of the United States. And you're going to be asked, it's a scary time for me because this is where those opinions are going to come out. People are going to be asking you your opinion, you know? And you got to have an opinion nowadays. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I was a kid, people would have like 7, 8 opinions, like tops. You know, most of them were about food and stuff, you know what I mean? Colors, like favorite colors. But now you're expected to have an opinion about every single thing that's ever happened or will happen or might happen. And so you'll see when the election starts, the commercials will be targeting the people that are very smart, you know what I mean? The very smart people on one side, the very smart people on the other side. And they'll try to get those people cemented up, you know? So, the commercials will be very difficult. I remember this from the last election. It'll be the same this time. Like a guy will come on and, you know, he'll say, or a lady. I say that a lot. And a guy will say, listen, if you want to know my answers to climate change, as well as the immigration crisis, as well as unemployment and prison reform, then you should go on my website where I have a 35-page position I explaining all my issues. And then I go, oh no. I'm not going to do that. Listen, you seem like a fine enough fellow and all that, but here's the thing. I am not going to read your position paper on account of a guy told me earlier today that I just have the one life. Choices are to be. I still have 2 seasons of Matlock I got to get through. You know what I'm saying? Can't be reading. Prison reform is a big one. I've been hearing that a lot lately. This is something that I actually have an opinion on, because they always say, oh, prison reform, you know, the black people are put in prison for longer stretches than white people. Absolutely true. Black people use crack, white people use coke. Crack, cocaine is given much stiffer sentences. There's a wide disparity between races, and it's very, very tragic in our prison systems. But here is the first thing to reform prison. Nobody wants to talk about it, but clearly it's the getting fucked up the ass. That should be right on the top of your fucking list. Because nobody fucking, you know if the judge never mentions it? You know what I mean? When you leave that out. But nobody's at home going, God damn, I hope I never go to prison. I'll lose my freedom. It terrifies me, just the thought of that first night in prison without my freedom. That's not what anyone's worried about. It's getting ass fucked by another guy, a big guy. What about when people ask you, sometimes people ask you a hypothetical question that you may as well lie. Like, this is what sometimes they'll say. They go, hey, if you ever went to jail, you know, and a guy tried to ass fuck you, would you fight him or just let him ass fuck you? You may as well lie. You may as well go, I'll fight him. That's what I do. Couldn't be a worse strategy. Then the guy smashes your fucking head into that, you know, the top bunk has that fucking edge. And you're like, fucking shit, what the fuck? You're too blood and shit. And then the guy's fucking you harder up the ass, you know, because you hit him. Why the fuck you hit me? That guy told me you'd respect me or something. I don't know why I do things. But yeah, you know, let's just be clear about it. And then they go like, whenever there's all these drugs in prison and ass fucking, and then they go, why? And then the guards go, well, what can we do about it? I mean, these are prisoners, you know, and what are we supposed to do? Are you fucking kidding me? They're behind bars, and you have guns. Nothing you can do to stop this. If I was fucking ass fucking everybody backstage, you know, that guy over there would stop it. He'd go, hey! We've talked about this before. No cocaine, no ass fucking. I'm like, come on, cocaine? All right. But don't mention it on stage at the start or nothing like that. But anyways, here's an interesting thing. I have no opinions. Basically my opinion is I don't know. You know what I mean? Most things. Because they're too complicated for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Ask a smart guy that wrote a book about it. Don't ask me. You know? And I know a lot of people don't know because a lot of times you watch a CNN or something like that, right? And they'll have a poll and they'll have a question, and the question will be very different. It'll be like, do you believe the Sea of Japan and its many encounters will hurt the GNP of Polynesia? And then it asks you that question. Then it goes, at the end of the half hour, we will tell you what the results are. And then they show, at the end, they show a pie chart with the results. And that's cool. It looks like a pie, you know? And so there's the pie chart, and then wedges of pie shows the answers. And it's always like 45% yes, 45% no, 10% I don't know. So then I feel good about myself. I'm like, well, that's 10%. 10%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but this is a big country, you know? And so that's 30, 40 million people, you know? Depending on if the country has 300 or 400 million people. So that's a great number of people. And I'm not unproud of being one of those people. And I always answer those polls, you know, because I want my voice heard. You know? I'm a sucker for those polls. Every time I see them, I phone them up and go, hello, yes, is this the TV? Okay, listen to me now. You asked me a question earlier. And listen, man, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. But hey, I got a question for you. How about this? What did that second word mean? In your question, huh? What's that now? Oh. Huh. How about that? All right. Anyway, I better end up on that fucking pie chart, pal, I'll tell you that. I'm no sap. I'm on the guy. But here's the thing. The I don't know is, you notice, like usually too, the yes and the no are always almost equal. That's what's weird about this country. And the I don't know, that's why when it comes to the end of the election, suddenly the I don't know vote becomes very important. Every single time. You know? It's like the election's tomorrow, and they go, we got to get those guys that haven't made up their minds yet, even though it's been a year and a half, and they don't fucking know them still. How do we get them? And it's kind of a weird way to choose the leader of the free world. You know, a bunch of guys like me that don't know shit about anything. But there you have it. Then the commercials are no longer about 35-page policy papers, because then they're trying to get guys like me. They make it very simple, very easy for us to understand, you know? Like a person will come on and go, yes, let me ask you this question. Do you like green? The color green? And I go, yeah, fucking right, I like green. Why? I go, well, so is this guy. And there's a guy waving. He's got a green shirt on. He's like, then I'm like, Ruth, get the fuck out of here. Come and see this guy on the TV. Finally, a guy. You know how I'm talking about how cool green is all the time and shit? Here's a guy that has me, speaking to me. Ruth. Ruth? This is what I read. You know how they say you have a brain behind your brain? That kind of, I don't know if it's true, but you know what I'm talking about. Subconscious or unconscious, whatever, you know? You don't know which one it is, but it's one of them. So you got your regular brain up here. That adds things together so you know how much this cabbage costs. But then, there's another brain behind. And you don't even know what it's fucking thinking or anything. It's a mystery even to you. And I don't even know if I buy it. But I did read this. They said that when it all comes down to it, the way we choose our president in these United States, despite all the how smart we are, actually it's the other brain, the back brain, right? It decides, and this is how it decides. Who would you rather have a beer with? Isn't that odd? And it goes a long way to explaining who's the president today. Because who the fuck wants to have a beer with Hillary Clinton? Seriously, like, that would be probably the least fun beer of all time. You know what I mean? Like, is that right? How we get another beer over? And yeah, who would be more fun to have a beer with than fucking crazy Donald Trump? Most fun guy ever in a bar of all time. You know what I mean? Just drink going, What's it like fucking sitting in a golden chair all day? God damn, it sounds like fun. You just grab him by the pussy, huh? God damn, see, a fella like me, I'd never think of that. But I'm just a regular fella here to start. Here's another thing. He said that this works for celebrities. I'm somewhat of a celebrity. I used to be a bigger celebrity. Never did this. First of all, it never occurred to me. You know, I'll admit, I tried to find ladies and convince them to let me lie down on top of them. I'm not nobody special. But just this, you know, confidence of just grabbing, what the fuck? Plus, I don't even know how it's physiognomically possible on account of a lady's, you don't grab, you know what I'm saying? It's inverted, a lady. I don't know if you've ever looked. I don't know if you ever looked closely, but Like, I could easily grab a guy's fucking hot cock and sweet balls, you know? That'd be nothing. Dad, what the fuck is... I have a feeling I fucking misused my fucking celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, my kid, he's a retard. I put him in a retard college. I didn't fucking know. Like, nobody told me, hey, you retard kid can go to fucking Harvard. I would have gone, what? I'm paying a fortune to put him in a fucking retard school. I'd rather put him in for, you know, a fortune and a half, get him in her, whatever. I shouldn't say retard. You know, I got actually in a little bit of trouble. I don't forget what happened. I think I got in trouble for not saying retard. I tried to change. I was about to say retard. I said Down syndrome. Anyway, that was worse. I don't know. I don't keep up on the rules too. But isn't it supposed to be about context, you know? Context, isn't that supposed to be important? So, yes, I would use the word retard, but here's the context. Here's what I would say. I love retards. So how on earth could that be pejorative? And I honestly do. I always have. I live in LA. I'm in an apartment. 4 apartments down from me lives a man and a wife and their 19-year-old son, a retard. I wanted this guy to be my best friend, this 19-year-old kid. And the parents didn't go for it. I wonder why. Such a cynical world, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's my type, a fucking 19-year-old retard. That's who I want to fuck, you know? The reason that I love retards, the reason that I envy people that other pity is because retards are happy. Everyone I ever see is happy. And isn't that what we want? Isn't that what all we want in life? Isn't that happiness? You know what I mean? And I'm sometimes happy, but not like retard happy. I mean, I swear to God, I'm not even joking. If there was a injection of retard juice I could put in my arm, I'd take it. Happiness, that's what I'm looking for. And that's what's so hard to find. It's hard to find. There's too much. I remember one time I went to Frontierland. This is a fucking place. We have a fake bank and guys with fucking the sheriff, and the guy runs out with a green bag, stop his blackbird, all that shit, right? Then there's a sign that says, would you like to be a pan for gold? I go, God damn right I would. Me and my brother, right? So this old prospector comes. The guy's not an old prospector. And he's like, hey there, fellers, you know, whatever. And we get there. He goes, you think you're gonna find some of the gold? And I'm like, God damn, you live down the street. I know who you are. Stop with that shit. So anyways, we pan. Now, I don't know if you've ever panned for gold. So they put you in front of a trough, and it's water, sand with water in it. And they go like this here, right? Yeah, and then through the screen, the water comes out, and then you're left with sand. So then, 5 minutes turns to 10 minutes, 10 minutes turns to 20 minutes, 20 minutes to, you know how time works. I don't tell you that. But after a while, you're like, hey, prospector, I've been panning for a long fucking time, and it's sand. He's like, keep at it, fellers. I'm like, yeah. So anyways, finally, I remember this. It was into the second hour. It was maybe at 1 hour 10 mark. My brother sees something. He sees something. We don't even know to this day. We talk about it. It was like just a shadow of a glister of something that we took to be gold. And we were filled with such happiness. And that's what I think happiness is. I think in real life, that's how often happiness occurs. Most of life is sand. You're like, God damn, it's sand. I'm tired of this. Ooh, what's that? So, meanwhile, retards are like walking around with big gold fucking bars, you know what I mean? I don't know. I cannot understand people pitying people that I envy. What is to pity? You know, there'll be like 4 retards talking and 2 guys will go like, look at them over there laughing. Oh my God, it's a shame. They don't understand the horrors of life. That's the problem. That's the problem when you get down to it. No cure, they'll probably die laughing like that. They'll probably die happy. Think about that for a second. But, anyways, so I shouldn't say that word, and I don't care. I'll say whatever word, you know. And whatever you fucking want to be called, I don't give a fuck. I could give a fucking fuck. And I understand, you know, that when we were young, we were hateful. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going up to my dad when I was a little boy. I said, Dad, I think maybe I'm a girl. And he's like, I thought you had a cock. I'm like, oh, now you got me. You know, because that's how hateful we were back then. We were filled with hateful, vile hatred. Of course, you know, if we weren't so hateful, we would have said, oh, well, you are a lady. You're a little girl with a cock. Listen. We're talking about prison reform. Now, I listen, we've all done bad things. We've all done bad things. Not a one of us in this room is not without sin. But, and I've done crimes and sins, you know, and I hope maybe, you know, I don't know if you, you know, there's probably some of you that have never broken the law. But I used to shoplift a lot, you know. You know, even when I had a lot of money. Fuck it, I just, for the thrill of it, you know. Shoplifting is fun. You know what I mean? And, you know, I used to, you know, litter, you know, when I was, or sometimes I'd loiter and litter at the same time. One time, manslaughter. I slaughtered a man. And here's the thing that I think we should talk with about prison reform. Do you know, because I've been studying prison reform very closely, you get more of a sentence for murder than manslaughter. Now think about that for a second. Hey, you murder a guy, if I can shoot him? You slaughter a man. You know, I know wherever I speak, I slaughtered a man. It fucking takes a long time, first of all. I had to use this, it was called I came with my nunchucks. It was this fucking shogun shit. And it's all rusty. I'm trying to fucking slaughter him. It took forever, whatever. Everybody watching. As I was trying to slaughter him, it took like 9 hours or something. And people all came around watching and whatever. But let's say I was found guilty because, you know, you never know. Maybe you don't know what the statute of limitations is on manslaughter. It could still be, I still could be, you know. But this is, I have it ready. You know, if I've ever called out for manslaughter, I'll take my medicine. You know, I'll get up and go, first of all, I want to, you know, say sorry to all the people, because everybody knows you're guilty. Because it took so long. Even the judge is saying, I saw it. And I don't even live near, but my friend called me and said, you got to fly out here. Guy's slaughtering a man in the middle of the street. I really should have recused myself. But. So I go, listen, I want to say sorry to the victims of the slaughtered man, first of all. And also, I'd like to say sorry to the slaughtered man himself. Those guys never seem to get apologies. Ever notice that? It's always their relatives. What about the fucking dead guy? Maybe apologize to him. But anyways, I'd say I would like to throw myself at the mercy of the court, say, yes, I am guilty. That's all I've got to say. I'm going to try to be the best person I can, maybe rehabilitate myself in prison, and also I'm a lady. I wanted to tell her that. Because I've always known it ever since I was a little kid, you know. I was like, hey, I'm a lady, you know? And, you know, all these people, oh, you're not a lady, these hateful people. Meanwhile, I was a lady the whole time. So, I know you, Judge. You're a good guy. You don't fucking hate people, and you know I'm a lady. I just told you. So if you could just take me to the ladies' prison, I'll serve my time. I believe I'll be popular, quite popular. Maybe more popular than I've ever been in my life. These are the things that are in prison reform. I'll tell you this too. You know, the Me Too, which I think is a very good thing, but it seems to be going after certain things, and then certain, it's like compartmentalized. First, the music. Then, I don't know if they've even gone to music yet. You know, first the entertainment moguls, then this, then the comedians, then. But let me tell you something. When they hit the prison system, boy, they're going to find some bad stories, man. Ronan Farrow will have quite an exclusive on his hands. Because as we all know, rape is a crime of power, you know? In prison, rape is how you get power. So if you're the most powerful guy in prison, that means you're the biggest raper amongst all society. Like, you'll walk down the prison, and then everybody in hushed tones will go, ah, there goes Shane. The raper's raper. That guy rapes other rapers. God damn, Shane, something. So as bad as our system is, and I know it's filled with terrible, you know, inequities for ladies and everything like that by the people in power, I hope we never change this patriarchal system and replace it with the one they have in prison. Because, you know, like, imagine if you're at your insurance company, right? You're working at an insurance company, and then you go, hey, anybody notice anything about Shane? Shane has been working at the insurance company now for 3 weeks, and what about this meteoric rise to power he seems like? I mean, 3 weeks ago, he was hired as a janitor, and now he's the vice president in charge of telling other people what to do and shit. How the fuck did that happen? And meanwhile, we know how it happened. Jane just rocking around. World's greatest fisherman. And then that's Shane's office. And that continues on and on. He keeps rising up. And then they have an emergency board meeting, you know, where the CEO is like, listen, we started this startup. That's why we started it. And some 8 years ago here in Silicon Valley, and by golly, we just started with a dream. I'll keep going. I'll keep going, Shane. But anyways, I just want to say that I'm retiring today, and I'm turning over the reins of power to Shane, because I think it's time for some new blood. And Shane? And I'm going to clean out my desk. That was the agreement, Shane. Remember we had that agreement? And or I don't have to clean out my desk. Like, you could just put all my stuff from my desk into a box and throw it out the window or something like that. That'd be cool, too. I just want to take this chance to say goodbye to Shane's like, ah! Minutes. Anyway, first of all, the Dow Jones would plummet. This is not an answer. This is reactionary. In many ways, it's worse than what we have with the patriarchy. Fuck, I hate this patriarchy. You know what I mean? There's nothing I hate worse than white men having power. Wait, why do I hate that? Wait, let me rethink that. I'm sorry. I love white men having power. I forgot who I was for a second. I am a white man. Yeah, what am I, fucking crazy? Well, listen, I work for every goddamn thing I ever had, you know? I had a tough, not tough, I mean, I'm not complaining, but when I was young, my dad set me up as he was a hedge fund manager. And I was 15. And these other hedge funds, man, they made me feel bad, you know, because they were pulling in whatever, $30 million a month or whatever like that. And I wasn't, you know. And I was like, you know, whatever, you know, I'll get stronger from it, you know, because I believe that which does not kill you really makes you weak. And then the next time, probably kill you. You know, it's funny how wisdom usually isn't wise at all. What about you? Ever think of something wise? You know what I mean? Like you go, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you go like, opposites always work, you know? Less is more. Yes, that's right. Is? Not less was less. But you know what I'm talking about, wisdom. And I believe the greatest repository of wisdom in this nation can be found on cups. Sides of cups. So I'll go to a cup store and I'll just fucking look at it. I'll go, God damn, that's true too. I read the scriptures and I go, I'm going to buy all these fucking cups. Just have them all over, read them every day. Fucking, I'll remember them. And then I don't remember. But listen, we're getting a little away from the point. No, listen, I don't have a point. I apologize for that. I should have said right away. Just to let you know, I don't have a point. But it would be funny if I had a point, like right now. Like, if I pull down one of those big fucking things, whatever they are, I had a point. And then I pulled out a pointer and I pointed to the point. I'm like, here's the point. New Zealand, the sleeping giant. I don't know what they say. You get the idea? I'll tell you what I like, man, because I don't know a lot of stuff, right? Never got a good education, all that stuff. But it used to be I couldn't, like when I was talking to somebody, right? I would have to It's hard to talk to people one-on-one, like in a party, because, like my friend said, it's really easy, Norm. All you have to do is listen to the person, you know? And that's true. You do it. I'm excellent at that. That's my best thing, is just listening to the other person talk. But then, eventually, the guy stops talking. And then you're like, oh, hi. I forgot to think of something to say. I'll tell you what, you keep talking, and then the next time you stop, I'll have something to say. So what you have to do is two things at once. Yes, you listen to the guy, but if he says anything that you have any knowledge of, right, you keep that in your head, right? Like a guy gets, maybe he talks about Star Trek or something. You go, hey, wait a second, I know something about Star Trek. As soon as this motherfucker stopped talking, I'll say that cool fact I know about Star Trek. Excellent. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, doodly-doodly-doo-doo, doodly-doodly-doo. So this is peace. Sometimes a guy changed the subject. You ever have that? And then he goes, anyways, the thing with the Panama Canal. You're like, oh! No, wait, listen now. Hold on here a minute. It's very interesting what you are saying now. But what about then? Remember then? Anyways, you were talking about Star Trek, and I was just put in mind of a thing that I wanted to let you know. We all know about, of course, Captain Shatner and Dr. Spock, you know, the half man, half volcano. But what a lot of people don't understand, and what they don't know, is that the starship that they drove around in space was not actually called the Star Trek. It was called the Enterprise. Okay, you talk for a while now again, and then they talk for a while. Also, thanks to this here, which I don't have to show you, I could have just told you, the magic phone, it's great because it democratizes knowledge. Knowledge is power. That's what somebody said once. Now, if you have all the knowledge in the world in your pocket right here, you know, so I can talk to anyone now. They can bring up anybody. You know what I mean? They can go, I don't know if you know the actor Robert Carradine. And I go, of course I know the actor Robert Carradine. I got to go to the bathroom. And then I go on my magic phone. And I go back to the conversation. I go, yes, I was just thinking about Robert Carradine. And you know what I like about him? First of all, he was an American actor. I'll tell you one thing. In Los Angeles, Hollywood, the most cool thing is meeting a celebrity. You know what I mean? Especially a celebrity from when you were a little kid, because they don't even seem like real. So, I met Matlock, right? Now, that's not his real name. I don't know why the fuck they do that, but they change the guy's fucking name, like, you know. He's on the Andy Griffith Show for fucking 12 years, and now he's Matlock. You're like, it's hard enough to fucking believe this horse shit. Sometimes they'll have the actor's name, then the character's name, then another character's like, I remember when I was a kid, there was a show was called Hawaii Five-0, and not the one they have on now, but the old one. And so these were the credits, right? I remember me and my brother laugh every goddamn time. The credits were like, Jack Lord as Steve McGarrett, and another guy as another guy. And then, right at the end, they go, and Kim Fong as Chin Ho. You're like, what the fuck? Couldn't give that one the same. I did see that. I remember this really racist thing once. I was watching, they had a show called The Green Hornet, right? And so the Green Hornet, he was kind of a ripoff of Batman, you know? Because he also had a youthful ward. I don't even know what a fucking ward is, but somehow this word ward, which you've never heard before, then you watch the Batman show, and the guy's played by Burt Ward. You're like, whoa, what? No, whatever, that doesn't matter. But so he was a youthful ward. It was a complete ripoff of Batman. So anyways, the Green Hornet, you know, Batman is Bruce Wayne, and Robin is, I don't know what the fuck his name is. Burt Ward, no. See how fucking confusing it gets? Okay, what was Robin's real name? Dick Grayson. Thank you very much. So, Batman was Bruce Wayne, Robin, Dick Grayson. Then, on this very short-lived series, the Green Hornet, right? The Green Hornet was played by, I don't know the actor, but I know that I know the ward was Bruce Lee. That was the coolest thing. So here it is, right? The Green Hornet. His alias was like Lance Carruthers or something like that. And then Kato, his alias was Kato. Did you get any more racist? They go, hey, Chinaman. That was their big insult. They do that in Kung Fu, too. Hey, Chinaman. Every pejorative is horrible, but I think some are worse than others. And I don't know, to me, Chinaman? I mean, I don't know. What does that mean? Doesn't it? To me, it means man from China. I don't know how you get that upset. Anyways, we've gone over. You know, first of all, the show ended in about 20 minutes. But besides that, we've gone astray. We've gone astray from the points I wanted to make. I wrote these fucking things on the paper, and here's the thing. I got no memory because I'm an old man. And so I wrote, so this is new stuff I wrote. So I'm looking at big fluffy dog, it says here, right? I don't know what it means. Like I remember a few weeks ago, right? I was in the dog park with my dog, and a big fluffy dog came over, and then something happened that was really funny, plus super relatable, like it's happened to all of us. And I write down on my little, I have a thing, notes on my magic phone, I wrote down, big fluffy dog, like the worst 3 words I could have chosen. Anyways, that's gone. Too old, man. My memory's gone. I can't remember shit. And I'm always, I bought this jacket. I mean, I went to the fucking store at some point and said, that looks good. Like, usually I would go, God damn, I should get that jacket for my father. So he can be buried in it or something, you know what I mean? Instead, I'm like, that looks kind of snazzy. It's gray, but it's also got a little tiny thread of green or something. You just get old, man. And nobody tells you, you know. But it's better being young. That's why I don't listen to no young person, because what the fucking young people tell you? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Because I think what young people forget is, they go, I'm young and you're old, and I go, yeah. But I was young and I am old. You are only young. But mostly the difference between a young person and an old person, an old person always thinks he's going to die. You know what I mean? Like, you wake up, like I wake up and go, hey, I'm not dead. Maybe I won't die today. That'd be a fine day to not die. That's why I like sunsets so much. Ah, look at that. The sun is dying, but I'm not. Excellent. But stuff that you never think of, like when you're young. But like now, for instance, I don't know if you're old, any of you guys, if you ever gone like check, like about 4 times a day, I will check the status of my left arm. I'll go, what's going on here? Something odd there in my left arm. You know, you don't want to race to your go like, I don't know, something. But don't drink, you know, quit drinking too much. Never really had a drinking problem, but it's just as an old person. Also, you know, I'll tell you this, like when I drank, I got tricked. Like I drink beer at first, right? And then they came out with these things called shooters. They even still have them. I don't know. They're little things. Taste like candy, right? You go, fuck, I can drink 100 of these, and you can't. It turns out you can't. And they're just little. People come with trays. You go, oh yeah, let's have some more of that. And then you're like, and your fucking wallet's way down there, and you're like, you can't get all the way to the ground. And anyways, then I would take because I don't drive, I'd take a cab home, and I just put my head out the window like a dog, you know, trying to get oxygen, so I wouldn't die, I'd barf and die and all that stuff. And then I'd get back to my apartment, so I just felt, even if I died in my apartment, I didn't give a fuck, as long as I was in my apartment. And I'd go in, and I'd go into the bathroom, and I would lie down, I'd put my cheek, my left cheek, I'd put it on the cool linoleum of the bathroom. I go, God damn, that feels good. It's so cool on my cheek. I had to get the whole joint made of cool linoleum. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had to quit, actually, because when I was on the road, it became too difficult. Because when you go do stand-up on the road, right, you do stand-up, but then you have to wake up early in the morning to do morning radio for the next day. So you're up all night. Then you have to go home, you know, try to get some sleep and go on morning radio. So I'd get home real drunk, you know, and I'd phone down. I go, yeah, can I have a wake-up call, please? For 7 o'clock. Oh, it's 5 to 7, huh? God damn, you know that well, I better let you go. You'll be dialing soon. I don't want to keep you get to it. See, my hair is all white. I used to dye my hair. I'd go to the fucking, the hair guy and I go, listen, I gotta go on the TV. Can you paint my hair black? Like, so black, so utterly black that it looks red? Is that possible? And you go, we have just the thing. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, God, or nature, God, or as dumb people like to call it, nature. God gives you fucking signs, and one of them is, they go, listen, I'm going to make your hair white. Like, you know, white, like death. Make your hair white, make your fucking skin all wrinkly and shit, you know, like a dead person. And your eyes will melt. If you live long enough, I'll have your eyes melting. So I want those clues. It's his way of saying, you know, get your affairs in order. You know what I mean? Like, the scythe is coming, and you will fall before it, as the hay before the farmer. I got a living will. Here's the thing. A doctor could never give you good news. You know what I mean? Like, think about this. A doctor is never going to come out and go, hey, Mrs. Jorgensen, We looked at your blood panels, and good news, you're immortal. Here you go. You don't have to come back no more. Congratulations, Mr. All they can say is, well, Mrs. Morrison, the blood test came back, and you are completely healthy. I'd like you to come back once a year, and then one day, I will tell you something that will shatter you. Here's a hint. I will say, maybe we should bring your husband in. If you ever hear me say that, you may as well faint immediately. So anyway, that's what I got done. I got a living will made. Now, if you guys don't know what this is, you should get it done. It's in case you fall in a coma or anything like that, and you are unable to say what you would like to have done because you can't speak, because a coma takes away your speechifying. So you write down what you would like to have done. And mostly it has to do with a plug. Pretty well, it's just a plug. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, like there's 700 people here. I would say maybe 4 of you will be plugged into the wall at some point in your life. I mean, I'm just saying, sheer statistics. Sometimes I do that with crowds. I look out and go, there's got to be 4 child fuckers here. As I said that last sentence, 4 people were like shifty-eyed. Look for the shifty-eyed motherfuckers on that last one. But anyways, 2 or 3 of you will be plugged into the wall. And I'm not going to say which one of you it is, because I don't think that's fair. But one day you'll go to the doctor and you'll go, I hate to tell you this, but if you go to room 13C, we'll be plugging you into the wall. Right now, yeah. So then you're in a coma, right? So then, that's when you have the living will. They pull the living will out. Like my living will is very simple. It just says, keep your fucking paws off my plug. I don't want anybody touching my plug. Couldn't be more simple. That's where people make the mistake, because right now, a plug, I don't give a fuck, around a plug. What's a plug? Well, it's very important at that point in your life. It's the most important thing there is. And if you don't decide, if you don't write it in the living will, then what happens? Your family decides. I wonder what they're going to decide. I don't know, maybe the thing they always decide every time, ever. And I understand, I understand the wicked ways of men. Not even wicked, just sinners. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have somebody in your family goes into a coma. It's fun for a while. You bring in your friends, go check this fucking thing out. That thing used to make pies and shit. That thing right there had dreams. That thing had dreams. I'm not kidding you. That thing there had envy. And it doesn't now. You think it would now. But anyways, after a certain period of time, like with anything, the novelty wears off. Now, you have to go and visit them, and so I understand. Do you know what I mean? And what are they going to decide? After a while, I know what's going to happen. Like, I know my family, you know. My brother will be going, hey, Doc, remember when you asked that one time if Norm ever mentioned what he might like? I was thinking about it last night, and I remember one time we were at a cheese sandwich store. So we're eating a cheese sandwich, right? So I says to Norm, I says, hey, what do you think about what if they plug you in a wall and stuff like that? Like, do you have anything maybe that you'd like to have an opinion or something? And he looks at me and says, yeah, he says, you should kill me. And then we can all go back to our regular lives, right? My mother said, oh, you wouldn't want to be a burden. I'm like, oh, no, God forbid. I should fucking interrupt your bridge game every 2 days. You can touch the back of my hand and let me know that I am, you know, but... By the way, I don't have just one plug. I have a series of plugs. A labyrinthian surge protectors all over the place. I think I'm going to have one plug. And a janitor comes by with one of them wide brooms. They love their wide brooms. Knock out my fucking plug. My brother's slipping him a 10 in the fucking hallway later. I know the wicked ways. My mother said, you don't want to live forever. I don't know how she could misunderstand me so much. Like, that's what I think about every day of my life. How can I live forever? She's like, you'd get bored, you know? I go, yeah, no, you're right. I never looked at it that way. Boy, that would be boring, just living forever and experiencing everything that could ever be experienced. Experiencing everything you could imagine. Experiencing anything you couldn't imagine. What a yawner that sounds like. Hey, not like your idea of being buried underneath the earth. That never gets old. I want to live. Now, I'm lucky enough to be a Christian, so I will live forever no matter what. But I don't want to die and then live again. I want to live until the Messiah comes. Now, maybe he doesn't come for 600 years. I'd like to somehow live for 600 years. Then the Messiah comes. I'm like, finally. Jeez, it took a long time. All right. Let's wake up the dead, guys, and thank the Lord I didn't have to die. So I guess I want to have my cake and eat it too. It's funny, you know, when I was a kid, everybody believed, and now nobody believes. Like, every time I say I'm a Christian, I feel like I may as well be saying I'm a retard. Like, the way people look at me. You know, because I know I'm not smart. I'm not Bill Maher, you know what I mean? I haven't figured out the central question that has plagued man since the dawn of time, like Bill. And, you know, my faith is weak. I try. But here's how weak my faith is. Here's how bad a sinner I am. Like, I try to follow the scriptures. I try to be a good Christian, and yet I eat apples. It's on page 1. Page 1. Worst thing you can do. Only bad thing you do at that time. That's why, I've never seen a book that thick that turns so fucking quickly. You're on page 1, you're like, God damn, this is the coolest story I ever heard. Whoa! Page 1. Very simple. Guys like, all right, you get the garden. Now people think of that as a garden. It's not a garden. It's everything you could ever want. Everything, you know. You want the greatest ribs ever, it's over there, you know. You want this thing, it's over there. All God says is one little thing. When I come down to talk to you once in a while, I like apples, I'm going to have a fucking apple tree. So stay away from my fucking apples. And everything's cool. You get everything there is, except an apple. Then you turn to page 2, and Eve is like, fucking apple. I'm like, God damn. Now, I have nothing against women, you know, I'm not misogynist or anything like that. But certain women, and I'd put Eve right on top of the. Imagine you're Adam, you know what I mean? On page 1, everything's fucking going good. And then on page 2, you're walking, and doodly-doo. He said, like, Eve! But then he's grasping onto hope. He's like, what? Are you eating a pear? Is that a Bartlett pear or something like that? Oh, no, it's an apple. Oh. No, of course, I still love you, honey. Oh, I still love you. Because he's got to still love her. She's got the only pussy in the whole world. You know what I mean? At this point, he's like, oh, great, I got to go fucking live in the goddamn land of Nod. That'll be fucking fun. And then, so I got a fucking, you know, a thing in my back where it's a bulging disc. Eve was hungry for an apple. And then you go, well, why did you? And Adam's like, hey, why'd you eat the apple? And we just say, what's that? Oh, a snake. Oh, snake told you. Well, now that you've explained that. Fucking snake. Come on, man. Do you ever believe a snake? Hey, you could be the biggest atheist in the world. What do I know? You know, I don't know what's right or wrong. But even if you're the greatest atheist that ever lived, would you ever believe a snake? Here's what now, if I were an atheist, and I don't think I'm strong enough to be an atheist, to be completely honest with you. And I'm probably not smart enough to be an atheist. But let's say I was real smart, like Bill Maher, and I knew that I was right, and the people who believe in God were fucking idiots, which I've heard them say to me. This is what I would not do were I an atheist. I don't know what I would do, because I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine it. I guess I'd probably just wake up, eat my couch Chocula, you know, watch First Take and eat some more couch Chocula, and think about where I was going to eat that night. Wonder if I'd ever lie down with a lady again in my life. And go to sleep, and the same thing happening. But here's a thing I would never do, and because I think even if, and of course there is no God, we know that, but even though I know there's no God, right? Why would I try to get someone else to join me in that belief? Like that to me seems. Like it's not a sin because there's no such thing as a sin, but it seems like a very bad thing to do. You know what I mean? Just because you're smart and they're not, you know, you're supposed to go, excuse me over there. Yes, you with the glister of hope in your eye. Come on over here, I want to tell you something. Here's the thing. It's all meaningless. See, you're born, you get sick, and then you die, and they put dirt on you. Anyways, do you want to come over to my house and talk all the fucking day with me and my friends about it? That's all we do. I have a podcast, so would you like to do that? Would that appeal to you? I would never do that. Never do that. So anyways, I try to be, One thing I do worry about, though, is what if you chose the wrong God? If you know, because sometimes you know within your heart that there is a God. And all you have to do is look at other people. Now, if you look into their eyes, you can either see just glass, or you can see what I see. I see an eternal being, an immortal being. And look in someone's eyes sometime, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's say you chose, there's a God, but you chose the wrong one. You know what I mean? And then you die, and then you're like, oh! It's you. I thought it was the other guy. Should have been slaying infidels the whole time. Just my luck. Just my luck. Like a lot of people go, hey, why do Christians have to shove everything down everybody's throat, It's because it says that in the Bible, to go and tell other people so they can, have, heaven too. But nobody wants to. You'd like to be invited to a party again. You don't want to fucking be the guy. Usually I don't do it. I just take the risk, If it was up to me, I wouldn't care. My version of heaven would be I'd be up in heaven, and I'd watch all my friends getting raped by the devil for all of eternity. That'd be part of the fun for me, But you gotta do your best, And God, I did not mean to be preachy. Boy, if it comes off as that, I apologize completely. I hate preachy people when it comes to their religion. All I'm trying to say is, if you want to get into heaven, you have to go through Jesus Christ. That's all. If you consider that preaching, what can I say? It's funny with the Ten Commandments because they seem so arbitrary, Some of them seem easy, right? Thou shalt not kill. Come on, man. You can get through life without killing some motherfucker. God damn. Does that make you such a great person? Hey, I didn't kill anybody. Oh, come on in. Here's your fucking eternal life. Reward. You didn't kill anybody, right? No, I didn't. But then there's other more nuanced ones that are very difficult, like coveting. This is one that always, I go, oh, how can I not covet? It's just so in me, and I don't know how to escape the human bonds of covetousness. Like the commandment says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's ox. Okay, first of all, this is unfair because some people's neighbors don't have an ox. So they're just fucking off the hook on that one. Meanwhile, what about me? I got an ox, right? Off this Mexican guy. It doesn't matter what race he was, but the point is I shouldn't have gone cheap. I should have got a new ox. So I get the fucking thing, and then it's all matted fur, scraggly fucking old ox and shit. And then he's got a hump on his shoulders. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So I phoned the Mexican guy. I'm like, what the fuck is it? He's like, he's got bursitis. I'm like, ah. He's like, yeah, like Nixon. I'm like, Nick, what? He's like, as long as he doesn't pull anything or lift. I'm like, what? An ox? So anyways, now I'm stuck. Nobody wants to buy it. I got the ox. It's gross ox. It's sitting in my garage all day. And I can't do anything about it because there's that other commandment, thou shalt not kill. So I can't, kill my ox. I'm just stuck with it. So then, now I leave my house, right? And I walk down to the corner store, and my neighbor, his garage door is open. What a surprise. And what's in his garage? Just the most beautiful, like lustrous, I don't even know what the color is. It's sort of like aquamarine with steel blue, just shining, the top Belgian ox. My neighbor's like, you like it? I'm like, no. I got my ox, see? I like him. I don't like me, I like my life, and I like my ox. I'll be honest with you. It's funny, you know, it doesn't matter if Jesus Christ historically lived or not, as to his divinity. I mean, obviously, if he never lived, he wasn't divine. But most scholars now say that Jesus Christ actually did live, and he did exist in history. And this was interesting. I didn't know this. I read it on BuzzFeed the other day. Did you know that they now have almost certain proof that Jesus H. Christ lived also? I never heard of that. They found these scrolls and everything about his story, a tragic story, because he also was born in Bethlehem, and so he's always being, people thought, he's a barber. And anyways, they're like, you're the carpenter of the car. No! Your father's Joseph. Yes, his father was Joseph too. So everybody was like, oh, let me touch the hem of your robe, master. He's like, just get out of here. It's the other guy. It's not me. Harold, I'm Harold. Why doesn't Harold catch on? Why do you always have to call me Jesus? Anyways, in an ironic thing, and I think it's ironic. I don't like saying ironic because every time I do, people go, that's not ironic. But this may be ironic. Jesus H. Christ met his demise because a whole bunch of fucking lepers followed him up a hill. He's like, get away, get away. And they're all touching him, and then he becomes a leper. And then he tries to find Jesus Christ. He can't fucking find him. He dies of leprosy. And in his last moment, he goes, fuck you, Jesus. And so now he has to go to hell. It's just a terrible, terrible story. And I'm glad they kept it out of the Bible. I forgot. I was going to tell you a story about meeting Matlock, and I forgot. So now I will, but I'm telling you, it's really fucking late. And here's the thing. Here's happiness, how fleeting it is. Like right now I'm happy. This makes me happy talking to you guys. What a crowd you guys are. You're like wonderful, beautiful crowd. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. And thanks for coming. Because I know that you have many choices. I don't know what I was going to say. There you have many choices in air travel. What about when there are no other choices, Like you're like, the guy's like, well, thank you for flying Aleutian Airs. We'll be landing on the Aleutian Islands. We know there's many different choices. You're like, no other choices. Only Aleutian Air. But here's how happiness can turn on a dime. Like, so I'm happy right now, right? Love you guys. Look out. There's all these immortal. Next time, let me just give you a thing. When you see a homeless guy next time, look at him, look into his eyes, know that he's an immortal being looking at you as an immortal being, and try not to give him money, because it's impossible. Okay, so I look at you, I see eyes that are filled with love and some glassy and dead, but, you know, mostly. That makes me so happy. But this is how fleeting happiness is, because right over there, I'll walk after I finish here momentarily. I'll go over there. You see, here's how it works. A light goes off in the back, right? So the light goes off when you're supposed to get off. So that's a long time. So it goes off. Now that light means get off. Amscray, you know? Then you're ignoring, time goes by, and then it starts going faster. And then you ignore it again, and then it finally gets flashing like so angrily, just a blur of red, you know. You know when a blur is so much that it actually seems like it has no space in between it, like it's just a blur, whatever. You know blurs. I don't have to explain what a blur is. I never had to, and I won't tonight. Like a hummingbird's wing. That would be a blur. Or what about, have you ever seen a lady's forefinger when she's lying down upon herself? Like it's a crazy blur, you know? And then you remember what you were doing, you know, you're like, did I get anything out of that? Huh? What's that now? She's like, no, I'll take care of it. Yeah. And then the blur, and then I just stroke their hair. So we get through, but anyways, all I'm saying is that I'm happy right now. Moments from now, I'll go over there, just 20 steps, and then boom, it's that Frank or whatever the fuck his name is. Oh, he's right there. And then I go from happiness to over there, and Frank's like, light, light, people, that's a pain. And I'm like, I didn't see no light. What do you think of that? He's like, you didn't see a light, huh? Even when we flash it faster? No, I didn't see it. Try to tell you. What do you want me to tell you? Well, it was a blur. Remember we made it a blur so you'd see it? Tell me you didn't see it then? No, I'm fucking telling you I didn't see it. What the fuck? Is something wrong with you? Or what? So really? Because Sean was saying that you were talking about the light. I don't know who Sean is. I don't know what show Sean's but I swear, on the life of my daughter, I don't have a daughter. Somehow a little trick for you. Swear on the life of someone who never had a life in the first place. So anyways, I will tell you about meeting Matt Locke or Andy Griffith, whoever you want to refer to him, depending on how inside show business you are. I'm at an airport. I look in a bookstore, and there's fucking Matlock, right? So I go, God damn, my chance to meet Matlock. Now, I had just moved to Los Angeles. I was not in show business. This is the first celebrity. And I go, I gotta meet him. So I went to the bookstore, and he's reading one of those big fucking thick books. You ever see those? Right? Make you sleepy and shit. So I go, I'll fucking pick up a big thick book and stand beside him. You know? So that was my plan. So I get this big thick book, right? But he's looking the other way, right? Matlock. So I say, God damn it, I didn't see that shit coming, or something like that. And then he looks over, right? And he goes, it's nice to see a young man that likes literature, you know? I was young back then. So I said, oh yeah, you know, I'm clever. I go, yeah. I go, I love books. You know, I go, I love books about lawyers. You know, I love lawyers. Whether they be in a book or in real life at the courthouse, or, you know, on the TV, I don't care. I like TV lawyers also, you know, like, I like And then I looked at him, right? And then my throat gets all dry, and we got like that, like, and I started sweating, and it wasn't Matlock. It was just some fucking old man. I never would have talked to him in a million years. Who's going to talk to an old man? Anyways, whatever. But I will tell you this, not a day goes by that I don't think about that old man and how much I hate his fucking guts. Let's be honest with you. I'm going to tell you now the funniest joke ever. I made it up, and you can tell it to your friends. And it's a joke. It's an actual joke. You know, where you go like a guy, go fucking lawyer, bar, you know, people got, and then they, jokes, right? I'm saying it's not like a stand-up joke where you can't use it. Where next day, you can't go in to work the next day and go, hey, what about cats? It's got to be a joke. So I have a joke. First joke I ever made up my whole fucking life. It's the best one. Oh, before that, I tell you that, I was going to tell you one thing. Because I'm kind of proud of it. It's a good thing I did. Not yet, but I'm in the process of doing it. I've been blessed because when I was in grade 4, I had 4 friends, right? Richard, Randy, Babin, and me. Now, Babin we all went our separate ways in life, but we stayed friends, which was marvelous. And Babin grew bigger and bigger, fatter and fatter and fatter. And he became morbidly obese. It's a disease. And like the guys you see on the TV, like literally that big. That's the weight he has reached now. 586 pounds. That's what he was last Tuesday. 586 pounds. So anyways, now he wants help. He's really serious about it. So we all got on the phone, me and Richard and Randy, and we said, we got to do this for Babin. And then Randy's like, we're all 100% behind him, right? And I try to never bear false witness. So I said, yeah, 99, something like that. And then he's like, why not 100? But whatever. I don't like to... Like, a little tiny part of me wants him to gain 14 pounds. I can't help it. I can't help it. You know? Where God resides, the devil hides. I just made that up. See, there's a wise thing. There's a wise thing that I just made up. But because I made it up, fucking nobody will, If I go, hey, I thought something wise. Where God resides, the devil hides. Everybody go, well, you're fucking retarded. That doesn't mean nothing. Because I'm saying it. But if I said, as Winston Churchill said, where God resides, the devil hides, people go, God damn, that's smart. And I go, it's me. And they go, I don't like it anymore. And that was really wise. They just attribute it to Churchill anyway, and you're just a fucking guy. Anonymous. You're anonymous. Imagine that. Imagine reading it and go, that's me. I said that to fucking Richard like 10 years ago, and now it's on a cup. Fucking anonymous. So I want to help my friend, right? He's 586 pounds. But anyways, he said this thing to me that struck me as odd or funny. He said, you wouldn't know it now, Norm, but at one point in my life I was 130 pounds. And I said, no, I believe that. I believe your every weight up to 586 pounds. Now, I didn't take advanced math for 12 years to be made a sap of by this guy. So here is the greatest joke ever, okay? So you remember this, because it's easy to fuck up this joke. But you tell people, God damn, people be laughing like crazy. Here it is, my little gift to you. And then I'll race over there and get yelled at. So here it is. A woman says to her husband, honey, does my ass look fat in these jeans? And the husband says, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth, but you have to promise not to get mad at me no matter what I say. She goes, I promise. He goes, okay, I'm fucking your sister. I don't know what to say. All right, God bless you, everybody. I broke the mic. All right. Oh, look at these guys.
Keep it going for Norm Macdonald. And let's have another hand for Stevie Ray from Seeing the Holy Atheist. Thank you very much. You're great. Thank you.